Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get set for race number 3 on the season, the first season of the NNSCRA Duracell Cup Series. Getting ready to go racing here in the Hollywood Casino 400 at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Now, to start off the season, we were at the Great American Race Daytona 500, where we did run the 2019 rules package. Last week we were at Manassas, but we did not run the rules package there. So this is actually the first time we're going to be having the rules package here at a speedway, and it's going to take place here at LVMS. This is going to be a very interesting race as well, because this is a track that can usually hold them 3 wide. If we've got this rules package, we're going to expect to see these drivers really close to each other, so we're probably going to see 3 wide, quite a few rows deep. The trouble spot, I really think, for this particular track, and I'm saying this from previous experience as well, it's off turn number 4. Now, the conditions here are clear today, which means that it's going to be a little bit slicker off of turn 4, and the cars on the inside, they want to push up. The cars that are on the outside line, they want to push up into the wall. That's why we could see our wreck take place in today's event. It'll be a little bit longer of a race here too, because this is just a one series that I'm doing. The races are a little bit longer in length, so 67 laps here today, and I have it on good authority. These drivers cannot make it the entire way without coming to pit road at least twice. Question is, will those pit stops be under green, or will they be under yellow? As Jesse Turner makes it an all-front Ford Mustang front row, he's going to be in the clash next year, starting on the pole position alongside of fellow Mustang Adam Garcia in the 12. So far this season, Chevy has a win in the Daytona 500 with K Friesen. Ford has a win with J Millz last week at Manassas. Will we see Dodge or Toyota break into the win column today, or will Ford or Chevy get their second win of the season? Only time will tell. Time to go down trackside, get those most famous words in motorsports here at Las Vegas.
Drivers, start your engines.
And as the Dodge Challenger pace car is going to lead the field around here for their pace lap, let's give you what your point standings look like coming into this race after 2 races so far this season. Right now, the points leader is Zach Rogers. Rogers has 2 top 10s to start out the season. I think it was a 6th place finish at Daytona, and I want to say it was like a 4th place finish last week. Maybe it was the other way around, but I'm not 100% certain. Second in the point stands Dylan Poteet, who has 2 top 5s to start out the season so far. He is only 2 points back. Austin LaPlante is 3rd, only 3 points back. 9 points back is a 2-way tie for 4th between Jordan Lopez and our Daytona 500 K Friesen. Mitchell Collins currently sits in 6th. He is 10 points back. 12 points back are Cole Baker, who finished runner-up last week at Manassas, and Benny Watson. William Brock, he is 9th in the point standings, 15 points back, and 10th in the standings is Ryan Brommer. He had his first top 10 finish of the season last week. He is 20 points back from the points lead. Some other drivers that really gained in the points last week. Michael Norman jumped up 16 spots to 11th. Shelton jumped up 12 spots to 12th. Of course, J Millz with his win last week jumped up 24 spots, and J Jefferson jumped up 10 spots. Millz is 15th in points, and Jefferson 21st coming into this race. As it's time to go racing here at Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas! Let's roll! After Manassas, that's been a real struggle trying to get races out here, not because of time constraints, but something's going on with my computer. I don't know what it was, but it was causing issues where every recording software I used, whether it was Fraps, whether it was Bandicam, whether it was D3D gear, they would all freeze, and it would just freeze and I couldn't get the races done. Looks like the frame rates are pretty good right now, so hopefully this race goes off without a hitch. And we have to rewind at the front of the field. K Friesen took a look. Here comes Wyatt Quail. I think we might be under caution. If we are under caution, we're racing back apparently. I think the yellow flag is out. Trying to look up at the lights there. Maybe we are still green. Yeah, we are still green. Okay, I thought we were under caution. Looked like one of the caution lights was on, but that's just my faulty line of sight apparently. Is Cole Baker going to lead that lap? Here comes M McIntire to the bottom. Woo, little slip up there in the center of the corner. That's what's going to be happening here with the sun beating down this track. It's going to be difficult for these drivers to find grip, especially up in the 2nd and 3rd lanes. As LaPlante going for the lead? Nope, Chris Dollerton's going to force the issue 3 wide, and this is where you got to be a little bit more conservative than you would be later on in the race with a 3 wide off of turn 4. One car slips up at the front of the field, and just about everybody's going to get caught up in the wreck. Benjamin Miles now out in front. So far, it's been a kind of an up-and-down season for Northeast Motorsports as a whole. Austin LaPlante and William Brock, they're having great years so far. Benjamin Miles, Ryan Butcher, could be better for those two. Right now, Miles out in front leading the way here. Is now Jack Mitchell, that single-car team. He's going to try and get a run down the front straightaway, and, oh, he almost swiped away the lap there from Benjamin Miles. Close, but Miles got him by a splitter. One thing that I noticed during testing here and also during practice was that these drivers here today with this rules package, the suck-up is so great, it's going to be very difficult for drivers to hold on to the race lead. The best way for them to hold on to the lead is if they make it more of a battle for second place. Is now Levi McIntire with a run. You can just see the run that these cars get that side draft with the good run off turn 4. You don't necessarily get the lap led at the line, but McIntire, there was just no contest going into turn 1 between himself and Mitchell, as now William Brock pushes him to the spot. Now William Brock wants to turn out in front to lead a lap here. He's got his teammate right behind him, Ryan Butcher, and Ryan Brommer coming up in top 10 last week. Both of the Bulldog Motorsports Dodges finished top 10 last week at Manassas. Teammates, half a car length. That's William Brock over Ryan Butcher at the line this time. These drivers doing a good job of keeping it green. Not necessarily sure what the fuel window is here today, but as I said, I've got it on good authority, these drivers cannot make it the scheduled 67 laps without coming to pit road at least twice. And this is not exactly an easy pit road to get onto either. If you looked at this pit road from an aerial view, you saw that white line as they passed by. It's almost a 45-degree angle from the banking of the track coming off turn 4. Imagine trying to slow down a car from over 180 miles per hour down to 45 miles per hour, all the while making a 45-degree turn to try and make it down to the pit road speed limit. Meanwhile, you've got all these drivers behind you that could run you over. I mean, it is not an easy track to get to pit road. As Jordan Lopez took a turn out in front, he won't get a bonus point, though. He won't lead the lap. It's a battle between Chevys there, and it will be Matthew Rodriguez getting the point over Charles Sanford. Coming into this race right now, Retro Racing Enterprises, they could be doing a lot better. Jessica Shelton's the only light in the tunnel right now for that team. As Kyle Mathews, Charles Sanford, they have not gotten their season off to a good start. Shelton had a top 10 run last week at Manassas, and that's the only top 10 the team has so far in the first 2 races of the season. Trent Dunham going by for a spot. Trent Dunham been very quiet the first 2 races so far. 27th in the points coming to this race, and he lost points last week, dropped 7 spots in the standings, as now James Qualls going to go to the point. James Qualls did not exactly have the greatest of Daytona 500 weekends. He finished all right, I guess you could say, last week at Manassas, picked up 3 spots in the standings, but he still comes into this race still sitting in the 23rd position in points. He won't lead this lap. Instead, it's going to be Kyle Mathews. We talked about Retro Racing Enterprises just a moment ago. That's another driver there. Mathews comes into this race currently 26th in points. And Vince Almariego going to take a turn out in front now. So we've seen both of the Sega Motorsports cars up front and leading the way. Almariego 13th in the points coming to this race. Only 4 points outside of the top 10. Only 24 points out of the points lead as we're 3 wide. That's Benjamin Miles. Mitchell Collins there with the new scheme on his number 22. Pennzoil, the primary sponsor this week. His teammate Adam Garcia somewhere in this field. We saw him starting on the front row with the primary sponsor of Nintendo Switch on his number 12. Remember, both of them were running a peak antifreeze on their cars, both at Manassas and the Daytona 500. Speaking of which, there's a Daytona 500 winner now up inside the top 5. Carter Friesen, 37. Trying to become the first 2-time winner this season, which would confirm him a spot in the playoffs. Right now, he and Jose Millz, the only 2 right now that are basically confirmed in terms of speculation, since they both have wins, is Trey Wright. His teammate won last week. Now he wants to win this week. He moves into the 2nd position. Here comes Michael Norman there in the 3. The Budweiser All-Pro Series Chevrolet Camaro can't get to the inside of Trey Wright. It's Chevy, Ford, Chevy, and then Chevy, the top 5. That's Matt Haas now in the 5th position. Matt McIntire there in 6th. And now the Chevy's ganging up on the lone Ford. Michael Norman's going to get by for 2nd. He wants more. He'll get to the inside for the top position. Can he get the run off turn 2 is the question. Almariego had a nice run through the center of the corner. And Vince will hang on to the spot at least for now. Norman, though, still alongside. He'll be on the bottom going into 3, and I'm certain he'll clear coming up turn number 4. A couple of the unknown motorsports cars up here. Matt Haas in the 8, and also Diego Yepez there in the 0. It's going to be interesting to see if I had to put my money on a manufacturer just based on the history here at this particular track and other series that I've run, I'd put it on the Fords. Why? Well, you look here at Dylan Young and the 2. Young Motorsports was actually one of the favorite teams coming into a Las Vegas race for a good portion of the Hershey's Cup Series. JT Bryant, I believe, was a 2-time winner when he drove for Young Motorsports, and Levi McIntire was a winner here at Las Vegas when he drove for Young Motorsports. So Young Motorsports has 3 drivers in this field: Young, Mitchell Collins, and Adam Garcia, who started on the outside of the front row. So we'll see if they make their way up to the front here in the closing stages, as Yepez now has to give way to Charles Samper. A couple new faces up here towards the front. Johnny Gardner there in the 14. Gardner, who had a great run at Daytona, did not run well last week at NASA's, dropped 17 spots in the standings. That was the biggest loss in the points last week, along with Julius Anderson, who also lost 17 spots. Johnny Gardner finds himself now 20th in the standings coming into this race, as Seth Cole now goes to the point. Oh, and they have a wreck! That was Jesse Turner getting into somebody. That was at the front of the field, and the caution's going to fly for the first time here today. It takes place on lap 17. Pretty certain the caution is out. Yes, it is. First caution of the day is here comes Dylan Poteet trying to get the lead from Seth Cole at the line. Can't do it. So Seth Cole out in front, safest place on the track, at least at that point in time. I don't know who necessarily went up into the wall, but I know it started with the 47 of Jesse Turner, and I'm seeing gray smoke lingering in turn 2. Somebody's day is done. And it's our Daytona 500 winner, Carter Friesen. Oh man, 2 weeks after he won the biggest race of the season. Oh, it's both our former winners. J Millz, last week's winner, was collected as well. You can't make this stuff up, folks. Our 2 previous winners in the first 2 races of the season are involved in our first caution of the day. And this is going to be interesting because, like I said, I don't know what the fuel window is for these drivers. They're coming to pit road. So does this put them in the window to make it the rest of the way on only one more pit stop? Or could we end up seeing some really, really close to the end pit stops as this race draws to a close? We'll have to wait and see. So Seth Cole leads them down pit road as the leader. Will he leave pit road as the leader? We'll find out. We're stepping aside for a look at a replay of what brought out the first caution of the day. 17 laps of green flag racing before this. Well, here we go. Carter Friesen's going to move up in the middle. Turner gets to the inside. And it almost looked like Carter came down on Jesse Turner. I don't think Turner did anything wrong there. Wow, what a close call for Diego Yepez in the 0. Matt McIntire got a piece of that there in the passenger side door. But where is J Millz, and how does he get involved? Oh, there he is. Yeah, I think he was running dead last at the time. And oh, man, just barely gets clipped with the right front. So Matt McIntire did get a piece of that wreck, though. That was a great save by Jesse Turner. But like I said, I honestly think that Carter Friesen actually came down on Jesse Turner. I don't think Turner moved up into Friesen. Let's take a look from the helicopter cam. That might give us a better idea. Alright, we're watching the 37. Now watch, he moves up. He opens the door down low for Jesse Turner. Now let's see if the 37 comes down or if the 47 comes up. Wow, that is close to call. It looked like the 47 may have slipped up a bit. But it also looks like, from the helicopter cam, that Carter Friesen came down. There you see the contact. That was more into the right front fender than the passenger side door for Matt McIntire. So we'll have to follow up on the extensiveness of that damage. Look at these close misses. Look at James Qualls, Dollerton, Mathews just barely getting by. And J Millz was running at the very back of the pack. I'm surprised that the last car was the one that hit him. Millz could have very easily, he didn't have anybody who was inside. He could have gone low and avoided. I'm not sure why he stayed up there, but it's going to cost him a good finish here today at Las Vegas, no doubt. Our 2 previous winners involved in this one, and probably our first 2 retirees of the day. Lights are out atop the pace car. We're going back green on lap 22 of 67, so we're just going to be a third of the way through this race. Out of the event, the two cars that basically we would have assumed would be out due to the black smoke that was pouring out from underneath both of their cars. K Friesen will finish 39th. J Millz will finish in 40th. Matt McIntire did not spend a long time on pit road getting the damage repaired. He's going to be restarting in the 18th position, so we'll see if he's up to speed or not. That looked like pretty extensive contact to me. But William Brock's team got it done on pit road. He gets out the leader ahead of Seth Cole in second. J Gardner will be third. Fourth, Matthew Rodriguez. Dylan Poteet lines up in fifth. Then it's Charles Sanford, Jordan Lopez, V Almariego, J Yepez, and Cole Baker. That is your top 10 as we get ready to go back green. Couple of drivers we haven't seen up at the front just yet that are running well in the points, like Zach Rogers, the points leader, Cole Baker, Benny Watson. Maybe we'll see them as this race progresses on, but it'll be a single file restart here. Let's see how anxious these drivers are going to be to get back double and three wide. Looks like we got our answer, at least for double wide. Seth Cole right down to the bottom. He's going to go to the lead. Matthew Rodriguez right behind him. I think Matthew Rodriguez got a little contact in that wreck that we had just moments ago as well. I think he may have bumped into the back of Jesse Turner when Turner was trying to check up and save his race car. So I don't know if that would have caused any damage as far as the front nose of that machine around the radiator area. But right now, out in clean air, I don't think that overheating is his concern. He'll lose the lead, though, to J Gardner off turn number 2. Feel a little split up there, and I noticed that it looked like Trent Dunham made a pass there on Matt McIntire. Now, I'm not 100% certain, but it looks like that 7 car might be a little bit off the pace. Jack Mitchell going around him, Trey Wright going around him. Looks like he is still up to speed, though. Maybe he just got trapped up on a lane that he didn't want to be on. Let's see if there's anybody else back here that's straggling. K Mathews is quite a ways back here. Looks like he's still up to speed, though, just in the draft of these cars. Trying to see if there's any damage. I think there could be some front end damage. Oh, we got a wreck right up in front of him, and it's off turn 4, and it's a big one. Oh, we got a car flipping. That's Dollerton. Up and over, still barrel rolling, almost to the start-finish line. Caution is out. I believe the leaders took it. Poteet is in it. McIntire is in it. Leaders indeed are receiving the caution here. They are waiting for the pace car to pass them. Looks like Dylan Poteet, his streak of top 5 finishes, they will come to an end. Benjamin Miles, his bad luck continues. Same for Dollerton. Dollerton last week had a good run and jumped up to 33rd in points. That won't be the case now as McIntire had to teleport to pit road. LaPlante, who came into this race 3rd in the standings, only 3 points out from getting the points lead. He's involved. And there may be a bunch of other victims back here that we're not going to know until we look at the replay. Benny Watson, a lot of damage on both the left and right side of his Hearst Toyota Camry. Driver that came into this race 8th in the standings. Michael Norman's got rear end damage. J Jefferson's got damage. Got some cars coming to pit road. R Brommer, Julius Anderson. Anderson, who last week had a cylinder go down at Manassas and finished off the lead lap. He's looking like he may end up dropping even further in the point standings here today. And very interesting that nobody came to pit road for the leaders this time. So that may have just answered our question of if they were going to be able to make it on one more pit stop. So apparently they're going to save some fuel, stay out and keep their track position, as Jordan Lopez is the leader under our second caution of the day, and it was a big one off of turn number 4. Let's go back and see what happened. 3 wide going into turn 3. That's Levi McIntire on the bottom. Matt Haas opened the door, and it almost looks kind of like what happened over in turn 1 between K Friesen and Jesse Turner. Matt Haas came down and gets hooked off the nose of McIntire, and Dylan Poteet had absolutely nowhere to go. Just trapped in that outside line. And then this second bit of contact right there between Haas and McIntire sends McIntire down to LaPlante. LaPlante collects his teammate, Benjamin Miles. They're going to hit the wall hard. 25 juts off the wall and hits J Jefferson. LaPlante bounces off the wall into Benny Watson. Jessica Shelton got a piece. So did Carson Gum. So did Michael Norman. I don't know if K Mathews got through it or not. Oh, boy, he's got Dollerton flipping right in front of him. think he might have gotten through it, and boy, Chris Dollerton, what a wild ride for the 43. That car started barrel rolling off the exit of turn 4 and almost barrel rolled all the way down to the start-finish line. That is a wild, wild wreck, and we're going to take another look and see just exactly how Dollerton started flipping. Wreck has already happened. And we're going to see who it is that gets the 43 of Dollerton here. Left side, Benjamin Miles shoots down to J Jefferson, who gets R Brommer, who then gets Jefferson, who comes down to Dollerton, and then it was a hit from Julius Anderson that sent the 43 around. I'll tell you, he did a heck of a job missing that wreck, and maybe it was just luck, but that was J Qualls. Cars were getting hit all around him, and I don't think he got a piece of the action. That was a great avoidance, or at least right place, right time for J Qualls. But both of the Rockin' Ranch Racing Ford Mustangs, Dollerton and McIntire, collected up in this one. And it was Dollerton who went for the wild ride here at Las Vegas. Probably felt like a die on the casinos, in the casinos, flipping and barrel rolling around the turnstile table as he caps off a wild wreck off turn number 4 for our second caution of the day. And much like the casinos fill with people once the nighttime hits, the garage area begins to fill up with people as well, although not many of them as willing, as Levi McIntire will finish the day out in 33rd, Matt Haas there in 34th, Dollerton treated and released from the EFB Chaos Center. He's going to finish 35th, 36th, Benjamin Miles. His bad luck in the season continues. Austin LaPlante will be 37th, and Dylan Poteet will finish in 38th. Tough break for a guy there in Poteet who started out the season so strong. Same for LaPlante. Came in 2nd and 3rd in points. Well, 4th in the standings, Jordan Lopez gets us back underway, so probably one of the guys that liked seeing certain competitors go back to the garage area. It'll be interesting now to see as well. I noticed Zach Rogers starting outside the top 10. We'll see if he can get up here towards the front now and keep his points lead going into next week. R Acosta is going to be challenging for the lead here, coming off of turn 4. Looks like he will get the spot from Jordan Lopez. Diego Yepez right there, and here comes our pole sitter, Jesse Turner in the 47. Had contact that triggered the first caution of the day, though he had a great save and really wasn't involved. Kept himself in the running, has a shot here to maybe pick up his first win of the season, but a lot of Fords behind him. Dylan Young the 2, J Gardner the 14. Dylan Young going to take the position off turn number 4 as we're nearing the halfway point of this race. Looking ahead at the schedule the next couple of weeks as we get closer to All-Star Race Weekend. Next week we're going to be at Atlanta. We're actually not using the rules package there. 3 wide for the lead. Ryan Butcher down low. This does not look like a happy situation off turn 4. Whew, yikes. Oh my goodness gracious. I think the 24 and the 57 just made some contact. And now here comes William Brock to the inside, 3 wide. That's a teammate he just put 3 wide, by the way. And here comes the points leader, Zach Rogers. And after Atlanta, we head to Phoenix. We will use the rules package there. And then we go short track racing under the lights at the Coliseum, if you will, Bristol Motor Speedway. And we will be using the rules package there as well. So some very interesting tracks coming up here on the future schedule. As Vince Almariego with the lead. Here comes James Shelly now to the bottom. Talked about the first couple of weeks, the fact that Toyota only makes up 5 of the entries each week, and Dodge only makes up 2 of the entries. Right now, Ford and Chevy each have a win apiece. Toyota and Dodge would love to break into that win column as well, as now Trent Dunham up to the front of the field, bringing Trey Wright and Keith Batson along with him. Keith Batson's had a couple of near misses in our 2 cautions here today. Had that close call, almost hitting Carter Friesen in the first caution, and also made his way through that carnage in the second wreck that took place off turn 4. J Qualls right behind him, so a couple of survivors now up here reaping the rewards as they're in the top 5. Mitchell Collins now up there in the 5th position, that 22 car. Talking about Young Motorsports having good numbers here at Las Vegas in the now in the Hershey's Cup Series. As As T Wright now shows the way, trying to get Blue Oval Automotive their second win in a row. Here comes James Qualls, though. He's going to go to the point, and I'm seeing an awful lot of Fords up here at the front of the field now. You got Qualls, you got Collins, T Wright, Wyatt Quayle's up here, K Batson, and here comes the outside pole sitter, A Garcia, in the 12 as well. Bear in mind, though, these drivers are still going to have to pit before this race is over. They saved a little bit under that last caution, but they cannot make it without coming to pit road at least one more time. Question is, when do they decide to do it? It's certainly going to split the field up, you'd have to think. And the way that they're pack racing here with the rules package, you're going to think they're going to want to leave with somebody, be in a group to produce speed. Wow, that was close off that corner between Brommer and Garcia. But, if you're all by yourself, you're basically going to be a sitting duck. Case in point right there, look how quickly Ryan Brommer made the move on Mitchell Collins, who had gapped himself from the field just a few moments ago. So it's almost like you're racing at a super speedway here, where you want to come to pit road with friends, or at least some people that are going to help your lap times be faster after your pit stop than they would if you come out all by yourself. And going back, looking, looks like K Mathews, we questioned whether or not he was up to speed on that last restart. He's up in the pack now, and he's up getting close to the top 10, so that answers the question. That car is indeed up to speed. R Acosta now going to go to the point. That Slim Jim Ford Mustang. Now Trent Dunham peeks out of line. There's J Jefferson in the 5. Look at the rear end of that car. There really isn't any. That car is still up to speed up inside the top 10. Good run for him. Matt McIntire sticks him to the outside line, though. He'll go for second on R Acosta. Probably going to keep that momentum going here into turn 1 and go for the race lead. Jack Mitchell right behind him to offer the help. Good run there off turn number 2 for Matt McIntire. Rides the momentum, moves up and blocks the outside line with Trent Dunham, and now they'll go 3 wide behind him. Oh, that looked close. I thought we were going to have another wreck. It looked like Mitchell was thinking about pinching Seth Cole down, and we already saw what happened when someone tries doing that. It's what happened to brought out our second caution. So that was a close call for sure. Is now Seth Cole back out in front. Last time he was out in front, we had our second caution of our first caution of the day, I think it was. So hopefully it's not an omen that with Seth Cole being out in front, we're going to have another wreck here on this lap. Now Wyatt Quail to the inside for second. Here comes K Mathews. So like I said, that damage that I thought I saw on the front end, whether he has it or whether he doesn't, it isn't affecting him aerodynamically wise. He's going to go for the race lead going into turn 1. Seth Cole went to throw the block, and K Mathews nearly got turned by Jordan Lopez when Mathews had to check up. That was a close call there in turns 1 and 2. Seth Cole throwing blocks here right in the center of the corner, and that nearly caused a wreck. Oh, they're leaning on each other back there. Matthew Rodriguez, Charles Sanford. Looks like they settled it out, though, as now look at Jesse Turner switching lanes, going down to work with fellow Mustang Jordan Lopez to push him back to the front. Great racing here today at Las Vegas. This rules package certainly making it difficult for drivers to hold on to the race lead for sure. Last week, we didn't have the rules package when we raced at Manassas. However, in that race, I believe we had 38 lead changes. Yes, we did, amongst 23 drivers. We might break that record, that season record here today. I don't know what we had at Daytona. 22 lead changes among 15 drivers. So Manassas broke the Daytona record, and I have a feeling Las Vegas today is going to break the Manassas record. Dylan Young now to the inside. It's going to be interesting here, too. I mean, these drivers, they're going up there to the front. The only reason I can think about them wanting to be up at the front is so that way they're going to be the ones that'll dictate when those final green flag pit stops take place. Or maybe they think that there's going to be a wreck with drivers trying to get onto pit road. They want to be ahead of it. And I also might be wrong, but I think I'm hearing some engines up ahead. I don't know if someone's off the pace or not. Ooh, I don't like the way they're looking through this corner. Is someone pitting? Oh, nobody's pitting, but they were leaning on each other for about 2 or 3 rows. Look at James Qualls. He and Ryan Butcher, I think they traded some paint there out of turn 4. Oh, this is not looking good. I don't like the way this looks. I want to look and see who they might be catching because I can hear some cars up ahead. But this right here, this is a hornet's nest, and it's about to burst into a swarm. Someone's going to have to get wrecked here. Somebody's getting wrecked. Oh, they're coming to pit. This is a terrible place to try it, and there goes Matthew Rodriguez around. Right in front of Seth Cole. There's J Jefferson involved with the points leader, Zach Rogers. Caution's going to fly. And this is going to hurt everybody that's trying to get onto pit road here. The drivers that stayed out, this is going to play into their favor. Oh, maybe not. Okay, never mind. I thought these drivers had crossed the line. I thought the leader had crossed the line and was going to race back. So the drivers hitting pit road, actually this did work out in their favor. They were committed to pit road when the caution came out. These drivers are probably going to still have to pit. Everybody that came down pit road, they're going to cycle around to the front. So I thought it was a bad call with the drivers that came to pit road when they did. Turns out I was incorrect. Looks like that's actually going to be the call that's going to benefit those drivers. William Brock, James Qualls, Jordan Lopez, Dylan Young, Jesse Turner, and Diego Yepez, they all stayed out. Now they could find themselves towards the rear of the field for this restart. Kyle Mathews all crunched up. I think he got into the back of either Zach Rogers or J Jefferson. I know Jefferson was in it. I know the points leader, Zach Rogers, was in it. So our top three in points were involved in this wreck. Here come the drivers that came off of pit road. There's Zach Rogers. Looks like that car might actually be out of fuel. I think he might have been trying to get to pit road that last lap. Couldn't get down there, and I think that car is coasting, trying to make it back to pit lane. I think he is indeed out of fuel. And these drivers think are on the tail end of the lead lap. Looks like it might be Adam Garcia who's going to be the race leader when we go back green. We'll have to wait and document that. Rogers still trying to make it back to pit road. Kyle Mathews soldiering on, hoodless. Seth Cole, we know, got a piece of it, as did Matthew Rodriguez. Don't see the 5 of J Jefferson. He might have taken his car back behind the wall. He took a pretty hard lick into the back of Zach Rogers. Caution's out for the third time here today. I don't think Zach Rogers is going to make it back to pit road. He might have to get a push. As the yellow flag waves for the third time here today at Las Vegas. We'll be restarting with less than 20 to go. Let's go back and see what happened. Well, I thought they were going to pit the lap before because I saw drivers moving up off the bottom line, but then here I knew there were drivers coming to pit road. Look at Zach Rogers moving up a half groove from that white line. He forces Seth Cole up the track. And I think it's going to be between Rogers and Cole that's going to start this. Yeah, I thought Rogers would come into pit road, but apparently not. He wanted to stay out. Maybe Seth Cole wanted to pit. And then finally, the two of them up into Matthew Rodriguez, spins him around, and then there's just nowhere for some of these guys to go. Some of these guys saw the wreck, decided to move up and stay out, and Kyle Mathews just completely blockaded, nowhere he could go. J Jefferson comes flying in. Oh my goodness. Right into Kyle Mathews and right into Zach Rogers. And Rogers' teammate back there had a problem. That's Trent Dunham, I think, that Ryan Brommer's gotten into. Let's see what happened to them. Oh, Trent's done for the day. Black smoke from underneath his Sega Chevrolet. And what happened to them? Oh, wow. Well, this is interesting. This doesn't even look like something to do with coming to pit road. Trent just rides Ryan Brommer up the track, and I don't think Brommer appreciated that, and he hooks Trent up into the wall. Huh. Wonder if those two made some contact previously in this race, and it culminated this, because that didn't look a thing like Trent Dunham trying to move up so that way someone ahead of him could pit. There was nobody really ahead of him. There's nobody to react to move up. He just forced Brommer up the track, and Brommer says, all right, you want to start it? I'm going to finish it. Well, Trent's going to get the worst out of that. His day's over. So I hope that whatever exchange those two were having, I hope it was worth it. But that's a very interesting wreck right there. It's not what brought out the caution, but it probably is a little bit more noteworthy in terms of possible rivalry brewing here in the Duracell Cup Series. But the points leader, Zach Rogers, collected up in our third caution of the day. Let's go back for the green. Well, that caution flag came out at a beautiful time for some of these drivers. Adam Garcia was on pit road at the time the yellow flag flew. As a result, he cycles around as the race leader. J Shelly lines up in second, K Batson third, And Wyatt Quail and Vince Almariego, your top 5, with Ryan Butcher, T Wright, Carson Gum, Johnny Gardner, and Jack Mitchell. That's your top 10. Green flag back in the air. You see Benny Watson, Michael Norman, Jessica Shelton, Mitchell Collins. They got trapped on the tail end of the lead lap behind the pace car and ahead of the leader. They're still in the lead lap, but they are going to be some traffic for these leaders to have to deal with. Benny Watson's going to go a lap down now as Garcia's going to get by him. It's going to be a bit of a wall up ahead of him here with Norman, Shelton, and Collins, and Shelly's going to go to the inside and try and take the race lead. After that wreck out of the race, Zach Rogers will finish in 30th, so I think he's going to lose the points lead heading into Atlanta next week. J Jefferson, Trent Dunham also out of the race after the incident we saw take place. Also been told that the driver and crew chiefs of the 1 and the 9 have been summoned to the NNSCRA hauler after the race. Trent Dunham's already out. Ryan Brommer's still out on the racetrack as James Shelly leads the way, but here comes Wyatt Quail. Big run, a lot of help behind him in terms of Fords, K Batson and T Wright. So now here's the big question. These drivers were all making green flag pit stops when that wreck took place. Was that the final pit stop? I think it was. So I think unless we have a caution come out, we are going to basically be making it to the checkered flag at this point without the drivers having hit pit road. So now you got what you got. The track position you were in when we went back green is what you've got to work with. Now we got to see who's going to be in the right place at the right time to take the checkers. Ryan Butcher now will go to the race lead. It's Almariego right behind him. Almariego had a beautiful view at Daytona after Johnny Gardner had to go to a backup car, couldn't start on the pole for the 500. Now Almariego moved up to the inside of row 1. Now we'd love to be able to see a nice clear view coming to a checkered flag here at Las Vegas. And look at this! A couple of drivers I was talking about we haven't seen up at the front today. Well, Cole Baker last week finished runner-up to Jose Millz in that fuel strategy race at Manassas. Jumped up to 7th in the point standings coming to this race, and it's the first time today we've seen him up inside, at least to my knowledge, inside of the top 5. So, popping up there towards the front when it matters the most. Another driver back here that we really didn't talk about it, but it is a bit of a story, what took place back on that last caution. Charles Sanford ran out of fuel at the pit road entry. I don't know if you saw it on the replay, but he came to a halt just past the commitment line on pit road. They were able to get him serviced. He got back out, still in the lead lap, and now he's up inside the top 10. Dylan Young now to the inside of William Brock. He's going to take the race lead. Teammate right behind him in Adam Garcia. We know Garcia's got a fast car, started outside of the front row here today. And we are getting close to 10 laps to go. And now we're starting to see him fanning 3 wide. As we get to the closing stages, I think you're going to see them 3 wide several rows deep in this field. And that could lead to a late caution and set us up either for a late restart or maybe have the race end under yellow. And now Dylan Young enjoying the front. James Qualls with a big run, gets second from Mitchell, now to the inside, he wants the lead. Turner, ooh, he thought about making it 3 wide, and remember what happened the last time he tried making it 3 wide? He hooked car to Friesen and caused our first wreck of the day. So I think he backed out on purpose. I think he thought about what happened earlier and decided he didn't want a little bit of a case of deja vu, especially not near the closing stages of this race when he's got a shot at a good finish, potentially a win. Right now, this is a good scenario for Dylan Young. Remember I said that it's going to be difficult to hold the lead unless you have some really good battling going on for second where you can control the 2 different lines. Right now, that's what we're seeing. Turner, though, gets out clear for second place, and here he comes. Big run into turn 3. He's going to be all over the back bumper of Dylan Young coming off turn 4. Here he comes, down to the inside. Ooh, wow, Ryan Acosta tried to follow him, but Jordan Lopez was already to his left rear quarter panel. Bear in mind, those cars in the inside line, the 22 of Collins, the 3 of Norman, the 02 of Shelton, they are not on the lead lap, but they can certainly play a factor in who's going to win this race. Shelton's got a teammate right behind her in Charles Sanford. Could she maybe try and cut through this field in front of her try and help her teammate Sanford get a win. That was a close battle at the line. Give it to Lopez, the ticker says. Oh, well, actually, it wasn't for the lead. Collins is actually just now getting back on the tail end of the lead lap, as is Norman, as is Shelton. Battle for the lead now is between Lopez on the inside, or on the outside rather, and Charles Sanford on the inside. Carson Gum, I'm pretty sure he got a piece of the second caution. He's up here inside the top 10 now, and Matthew Rodriguez, who got turned around to bring out our last caution, he's now up in the top 10 again in the 57. And this Shelton leading teammate Charles Sanford. Shelton's the last car in the lead lap, right now in the 28th position. Sanford leading the race. And Shelton looks like right now she's trying to cut through the field for Sanford, but Sanford did not follow her and left the door open. William Brock's going to go by for the top position. Diego Yepez going to follow in line. Shelton and Collins, I'll tell you what they would love right now, and that's a caution, because we would get back green and they would line up at the tail end of the lead lap. But now, Diego Yepez is going to go for the top spot. Up at the front, they're getting a little bit spread out here. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's going to give that second group a big run if they get lined up again. Whoa! Contact possibly there in turn 3 between Lopez and Yepez. And they're catching some traffic. That's Ryan Brommer and Kyle Mathews. Oh, this is not going to be pretty. They're going to catch them all going into turn 1. Lopez, Turner, Sanford, that's your top 3 right now. Where's everyone going to go? Oh, Mathews is making it side by side with Brommer. It's going to box in everybody. Oh, this is not going to end well off turn number 4. Oh, give room. Oh, there they go. Oh, that's Diego Yepez, Matthew Rodriguez, William Brock. Caution's out. Race may be over. And Lopez was the leader at the line. Jordan Lopez was the leader at the line. They hit it with 4 laps to go. We may get a 1-lap shootout. We're going to have to see. We might get back green on the white flag lap. But the caution is out, and Lopez is the leader. And I believe that Shelton, Collins, Brommer, and Mathews all crossed the line ahead of the leader. They're all back on the lead lap. And they're going to have a shot at picking up some spots here in the closing stages if we do indeed get back green. We saw Ryan Butcher on pit road in the 24. A lot of damage on his Gatorade Chevrolet. I know Matthew Rodriguez got a piece of the incident, as did Diego Yepez and William Brock. We'll have to see what the extent of the damage is for those drivers. It's 3 laps to go as they hit the line this time by. We might get back green for a 1-lap shootout. If we do, we'll be back for it. For now, we're going to take a look at the incident off turn 4 in the closing stages of today's race at Las Vegas. Best camera angle to be able to see all the incidents off turn 4 is the TV2 camera. There you see it. Matthew Rodriguez pushes up into William Brock. Diego Yepez nowhere to go. Track is completely blocked up. Ryan Butcher, Vince Almariego, they get a piece of it. Cole Baker's in it. Oh, Keith Batson squeezed up into the wall by Butcher. Johnny Gardner gets a piece right there. Jack Mitchell spins further up in the 0-1. We'll follow that in a minute. Oh, Dylan Young got involved as he got into the back of Butcher. There's Qualls. There's Shelly, Acosta, Garcia. Carson Gum, I think, is going to get around it. Yes, he is. Now, Jack Mitchell, I think, is going to get hit here. Yeah, he is. Let's see how he spins out, though. Thought he had it saved. Oh, he did have it saved. And look at the 42 of Almariego into the grass. Comes back up. And contact with Jack Mitchell is going to send the McDonald's Chevrolet around. He had it saved, but then that last bit of contact between himself and Almariego sends him around. And you're going to see in just a moment all that hood damage the 24 sustained at Ryan Butcher. It's going to come courtesy of a plow into Jack Mitchell. And there it is. Dylan Young also running into the back of the 24. And here comes William Brock. And boy, that's all 4 of the Northeast Motorsports cars involved in wrecks today. Oh, and Diego Yepez never slammed on the brakes, never slowed down. Runs into the back of William Brock. Carson Gum, he's carrying an awful lot of speed, and yep, he's going to get into the back of Yepez a little bit there with the left front of his Toyota Camry. So the question is, are we going back green, or did Jordan Lopez just win this race under caution? Let's go back and find out. Well, it got down to the closing stages. They were racing really hard. You kind of knew that something was going to have to give. We were probably going to have a late wreck. And it really just came down to who was going to be in the right place at the right time when that caution flew. That driver was Jordan Lopez. Lights are still on the pace car, and this time by, the white flag is being displayed. So Jordan Lopez, barring any mechanical problems here on this final lap, will be heading to victory lane for the first time this season. And how about Blue Oval Automotive? Last week on Fuel Strategy, his teammate J Millz picked up the victory at Manassas, and 1 week later, they are 2 for 3 in their starts this season and going to victory lane, as Jordan Lopez will be taking the checkered flag here today at Las Vegas. It'll be a Ford 1-2 finish as Jesse Turner, pretty good numbers here to start off the season at Las Vegas, starts on the pole, finishes second. Charles Samper going to finish in third. That's his best finish of the season. T Wright will be in fourth, with V Almariego in fifth. Matthew Rodriguez, Cole Baker, J Quail, J Gardner, and M McIntire appear to be your top 10. Again, that is barring none of these drivers have any mechanical problems coming to the start-finish line. Lopez came into this race fourth in the point standings, 9 points out. And all drivers in front of him and behind him really ran into trouble today. Zach Rogers got involved in a wreck. D Poteet and LaPlante DNF'd. Carter Friesen out of the race, and Mitchell Collins going to finish very far at the tail end of the lead lap, as he got his lap back when that caution came out. So there's no doubt in my mind that Jordan Lopez is not only going to take the checkers here today, but he's going to take the points lead into Atlanta. As he comes to the line, it's the Hollywood Casino 400 going to Jordan Lopez. Right place, right time. That's all you have to do in these type of races. Let's take a look as our standings should be official as the entire field crossed the line. And thank God this race got done. I've spent about 48 hours trying to get this race done, and it keeps freezing on me and everything, so fortunately it happened. Jordan Lopez, officially your winner. We gave you your top 10. Ryan Acosta is going to finish in 11th. Looks like all 4 of the Joanna Atwood Motorsports cars finished in the top 20 and at least finished the race. William Brock, we saw him get a piece of that wreck. He'll still finish in 12th, as I think he slid across the line in that position. Carson Gum will finish in 13th. Adam Garcia in 14th. Keith Batson 15th. And the rest of your top 20 were J Qualls, J Shelly, Julius Anderson, Seth Cole, and Ryan Brommer, who he's now going to get out of his car and head to the NNSCRA hauler after the incident that took place between him and Trent Dunham. Kyle Mathews finishes in 21st, Mitchell Collins 22nd, Shelton in 23rd. They were the last cars on the lead lap. 2 cars off the lead lap that finished, Michael Norman 24th, Benny Watson in 25th. And then out of the race after 4 incidents that took place during the course of this race: Jack Mitchell, Ryan Butcher, Dylan Young, Diego Yepez. Points leader coming into this race: Zach Rogers, J Jefferson, Trent Dunham, Levi McIntire, Matt Haas, Chris Dollerton, Benjamin Miles, Austin LaPlante, Dylan Poteet. And then our 2 previous winners up to this point: Carter Friesen 39th, our winner Daytona, and our winner last week at Manassas, J Millz, in 40th. They will be joined, though, in the All-Star race and possibly in the playoffs by today's winner, Jordan Lopez, as he picks up the victory here at Las Vegas. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Las Vegas. If you did, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, become part of the crew today. We've shown you full feature results. These are your overall point standings heading next week. Next week, we're at the Atlanta Motor Speedway, the D-shaped 1.5 mile. No rules package there, so that's going to be very interesting to see how that plays out. It'll be the second time this season we haven't used the 2019 rules package. Rules package here today certainly was exciting, as I'm almost 100% certain we broke the lead change record that Manassas had last week, but we'll just have to wait and see. Anyway, though, we will see you guys next week at Atlanta Motor Speedway, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.